Am I going to insult the seller with this offer? Actually, we do get that question a decent amount. Generally, it's on homes that have either been on the market quite a while or homes that need a lot of work, and our buyers just think that maybe it's not the right price. And what I find is most buyers are respectful and understand, like, they don't want to come in and the seller to feel like so insulted by some offer that they don't even consider it. But what do you do when you've consulted with your agent, and together with the agent you really feel like you want to make an offer and it's going to come in much less than the seller's maybe expecting? The first thing I like to do when a seller asks me this question is put ourselves in the seller's position. How would you feel if you were a seller? Your home's been on the market however long, you listed at this price, it's this price now, and this offer comes in. And if you just put yourself in the other person's shoes, it's a good place to start. Another thing is to have your agent talk to the seller's agent. I think a lot of times when the two agents talk, we start to get a feel of, what is the seller thinking, what is the seller's agent thinking, and you can kind of start to point out the things that you saw in the house that you feel like maybe this isn't quite the right price. And honestly, what we find is sometimes when I talk to a seller's agent that I feel like a house maybe is overpriced, they might feel like that too, but there might be reasons that their seller just wants it at that price. And so sometimes I even find that a seller's agent is grateful, like, okay, this is the price we're coming over with. These are the reasons. I think it's important that the seller's agent understands the reasons so they can communicate it to their seller. And this is what we're going to ask. And so when you communicate ahead of time through your agents, this is what we're thinking, this is why we're thinking, you'll kind of get a feel for if it's like shock and horror from the seller's agent, how that's going to go over. But if the seller's agent's kind of like, yep, I get it, they're never going to say, yes, of course, send me over an offer that's much lower. But you can your agent will get a feel for like what they're thinking. Let's say your agent has that conversation and you still get the feeling like this is not going to go over that well. You have a couple options. One, and I think you should always still send the offer, because you never know what's going to happen. Like initially it might be like, oh my gosh, this is ridiculous. But then the seller kind of has time to think about, like, my house has been on a while, or I really want to sell it, or yeah, that does need to be fixed. So always, I think, send the offer over. But we have had sometimes where our client says, I'm like, we're just going to sit on it. If it sits there a couple more months or a little bit longer, then maybe we'll send the offer. So you can sit on it and see what happens. But my indication is always like, send the offer over, have your agent talk to the other agent and see where it goes.